Shanti strides up to you quickly. She is in the mood for a good rant. Rogues everywhere. The customs gate locked. The main gate unguarded. Nobody here to greet us. This is a disgrace. You got the gate unlocked. I feel you could have been faster. You gave me a job. I did it. He nods. I will grant that this is true. Thank you. However, our mastery of this world will not be continued by the sloppy and insufficient. We will discuss the finer points of your performance later, at length. For now, there is an immediate lesson I must give you. What is that? Apprentice, always remember this. We Shapers are respected and feared. Why? Because we have great power and keep it secret from outsiders. Perhaps because we kill anyone who steals and misuses our powers, in part. We Shapers are respected most of all because we look to outsiders flawless, perfect. We may argue internally, but to the outside world, we never looked weak. Zachary and Barzar have failed in this. This settlement makes us look like fools. Now you and I will find them, and we will find out why this disaster has been allowed to happen. We have much to do, and I have much to teach you. Come. She turns on her heel and strides towards the settlement of the Drypeak. At last, one of the residents of Drypeak have come to greet you. He is a common warrior, wearing a captain's insignia. He has dark circles under his eyes, and his armor is old, worn, and dusty. He is not happy to see you. Welcome, travelers. I'm Captain Takina. I am sorry for our tardy greeting. We must be cautious. Lately we have had troubles. I ask you to identify yourself. This is Agent Shanti. I am Patino, a Shaper apprentice. He nods. He was waiting for something, and he doesn't feel like he got it. Thank you, Shaper. That helps. However, you are still strangers here. I is interrupted. Agent Shanti clears her throat. Captain Takina turns to her. You command? Yes. May I see your credentials? Captain Takina's word only infuriates Shanti further. She says in an icy voice, Drypeak receives an envoy from the Shapers, and only a mere captain is sent to greet us. This is an insult. Take me to Zachariah immediately. I will only speak my business with him. Takina looks nervous, like he doesn't want to take you anywhere. I am sorry, honored Shaper. I see you have traveled far. However, I have orders from my own Shaper. I can't let you proceed without evidence that you have business here. Shanti is quiet. She seems to be sizing up the situation, or getting her rage under control. One of the two. Remain silent. As the Shapers say, the mouth is like the city gate. Opening it lets the warriors of stupidity into the world. You remain silent and see what your teacher does. With a clear regret, Shanti pulls a scroll out of her vest. She didn't want to give up information quickly. She hands the paper with her orders to Takina. He reads it carefully, becoming more distressed with each word. An inspection? Now? Of all times? Fine. I will take you to Shaper Zachary in the research warren. I may have a use for you. You can follow us right now to meet Zachary. Or you can take some time to look around this town first and see what you can learn. Either way, come and catch up with us soon. You can see what I can learn from Zachary. Lesson in diplomacy will, I am sure, be useful. You get the first good look at the remote settlement. It's not wealthy, properly maintained, but it's also not as awful as you imagined. It's a valley of dusty, crumbling shops clustered along a single road. To the north, you can hear serviles working on Drypeak's excuse for the crops. Far to the northwest, you can make out the entrance to the mine, the sole reason Drypeak exists. Though the ground is mostly barren, a number of shaped palm trees have taken root. These are brought from some desert and magically altered into the flora that can live in this high, arid climate. However, these trees are growing too quickly. They're like weeds, thick, wiry, mostly useless, and desperate to destroy what few roads and structures the serviles have managed to build. All in all, this place is dry, cramped, and unpleasant. You look forward to meeting with Zachary and Bazal and then getting out. You stand at the entrance to a huge subterranean hall. You expect to find something like this. This will be the research warren, where shaping of the new life forms take place. The leaders of the settlement likely live here too. If you want to find Zachary and Bazal and get answers about what happened here, this is a great place to look. You enter the Drypeak Warrens. Once this was a shaping hall. It would have been the first installation built when the Shapers came. All the life forms that settled this area were created here. Shaping halls were built underground so that if anything went wrong, they could easily be forever sealed off. Now it is used as a command center for the whole region. The entry hall is guarded by huge turrets. These immobile, fleshy creatures are created by Shapers and can shoot vicious thorns at intruders at a remarkable rate. Considering how poor and run down this region is, this warren is surprisingly well maintained. If you walk further in, you should meet Shaper Zachary, and half of your mission here will be complete. You finally come face to face with Shaper Zachary, the leader of the settlement of Drypeak. He stands hunched over, the ancient, wasted away leader of a failed colony. His left eyelids twitch, and his hands have a constant, gentle tremor. This frail old Shaper is surrounded by a considerable number of guards, both shaped and human. He is prepared for a considerable assault. When you approach, both he and Shanti turn to face you. Now that my apprentice is here, we can begin our meeting. Shanti presents a scroll to Zachary. Here are the orders, fellow Shaper. I've been sent by the council to speak with you and Shaper Bazel about this colony's progress and future. I hope this will not cause you much trouble. Zachary takes the scroll and opens it. He scans the writing with a quick glance. Barely absorbing the contents, the elderly Shaper clears his throat. It takes him some time to gather his thoughts. I have sad news. You are here to see me and Basil. But Basil is dead. There's a long, long silence. Agent Shanti gives you a quick side look. Oddly, Agent Shanti seems to want you to speak for once. What is the state of this colony? The state of this colony, as you have seen, is bleak. I believe, with work, it can still be successful. That is all. Your mission has been completed. You can return to the council with that news. So, if all is well, what about the rogues that attacked us on the way there? Or on the way here? Shaper Zachary looks at Shanti, seemingly hoping that she shuts up her apprentice. Instead, she says, Young Patino asks a very good question. After a long pause, Zachary speaks in a quiet, wheezing voice. These accursed mountains do have minor rogue infestations in the side hills and side valleys. I'm sorry they've inconvenienced you, but they are of no importance. There's much I'd like to learn. Agent Shining nods. Yes, your education should continue. I asked Zachary to allow you to explore freely. This is reasonable, yes? Zachary nods. Of course, I would never dare restrain representatives of the Shaper Council, even apprentices. Wait and listen. I'm sorry for your misfortune, and I am sorry to hear about Bazal. However, I need more information than that to return to my superiors. I assume I am free to explore these mountains. I would be pleased if you would, he says. He clearly doesn't mean it. And since the area is dangerous, I will make sure my guards escort you to your own safety. And for your own safety, I would have also made quarters for you in Drypeak near the road back home. Shanti says, then I will rest in a proper bed for the night. My investigation begins soon. Thank you for your help. They bow to each other, and Shanti starts to leave. She motions for you to follow. Once you are at the far end of the hall, Shanti leans close and speaks quietly. Well, that was useless and worrying. What do you think? They're hiding something. She nods approvingly. Yes, they are. Poke around for a bit, then come meet me in the quarters. They're at the south end of the town. Then she leaves. As she does, you notice that Zachary exhales with relief. You have the pleasure of meeting a young shaper, only slightly older than you. His robes are new and clean, and he is too. His eyes are mismatched, but he looks well rested and ready to explore. When you approach the table, he is sitting there and looking despondently down at his soup. When he sees you, however, he perks up immediately. He favors you with a broad, friendly grin. Another young shaper. Come, join me. He leaps up to pull out a chair for you. I am Zencintial, and I greet you. I recognize the aimless, ambitious look of a shaper aspirant. Come, let's trade stories of our powers and our beliefs in trying to find a place. Tell me about yourself, shaper. I'm like you, perhaps slightly farther along. I passed prosperity by the test and joined our sect. I served my apprenticeship. Now I seek a place to achieve great things. That is what brought me to these mountains. I heard rumors that other shapers were flocking here. I sensed a chance to prove myself. You passed prosperity by? My family is one of success, merchants for generations, with great profit to show for it. They are common, but a common can have a good, influential life if he has money. Alas, I hope for greater things. So you're a full shaper now. I have that honor. I have completed my apprenticeship and gained my full powers. However, that is only the beginning of the journey, as you well know. What's your goal here? I am only at the beginning of the journey. Now I must travel and find a place to show my powers. Only then can I truly rise in our hierarchy. That brought me here. I must confess, I have had trouble finding work to do here. I need a purpose. I sense I can find it here, but I have had no luck. You seem to be settling in here well. Perhaps you could advise me. Well, have you talked to Shaper Zachary? Sensital looks toward the hall to the east, where Shaper Zachary holds court. I offered my services. I was rebuffed. Rather rudely, Zachary told me to go away. Plain as that. Thus, I must look elsewhere for advice. Well, what exactly are you looking for? I've been given such powers, the ability to make life. Now I am driven to use it. I believe I can push the world toward a better place. All I need is to find the right place to shove. I can help you. I am grateful to you, Shaper. I sense your agitation, your need to get out there and explore. If you find a place I can go to and unique people to talk to, a place where I can make a difference, please remember humble sensatile and show mercy. I wish I had your sense of purpose. I will find a way to use my powers for great things I swear it. Safe travels. Alright, let's put our skill points in. I would like to increase the spell effect. I add one there. One to leadership. Stealth. Another one to that. Then add another one to leadership. You make small talk with the guard. You learn nothing interesting. You note that he is very nervous. However, you can't be sure whether this fear has a specific reason or is just the standard common unease around shapers. We need to find someone to sell this crap to. Silent Hall says cloakroom. Shedding or loosely controlled creations must be shackled. This is a shop. You can buy and sell supplies here. This old wiry man is the town's quartermaster. The shelves and sacks surrounding him contain the dwindling supplies for this remote settlement. His clothes are covered with flour and mixed stains. Welcome, Shaper. I am Alizar. He sounds tired. I'm in charge of the supplies for the settlement. I don't have much I'm allowed to sell, but I do have a few things. I'd like to sell something. I'd like to sell this, 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 I don't need that. Oh. What about this? I have these robes. How'd you become quartermaster? I used to be a shopkeeper. Got supplies to keep this remote settlement going. But then the rogues came and the old quartermaster got killed. Shaper, Zachary, put me in charge of looking after supplies. I am glad to do my duty. I just don't have many supplies to distribute. What kind of leader is Shaper Zachary? He does the best he can. Don't know much more than that. He never leaves the Warrens. He's an odd fellow, I hear. He only decided to come here after the colony was all but abandoned. Strange, if you ask me. Quartermaster was killed? How? He was on a caravan bringing goods up here. They were passing through a narrow valley. Rogue Fioras sprayed fire on them from the cliffs above. A sad end. I do have a few items of interest. Very few. I'm allowed to give them to whoever I see fit. Just so you know. How might I get some of those supplies? He looks away from you. He isn't happy to ask a Shaper for help. Since you asked, soldiers go out to fetch food and such. but they keep getting killed by these 3 rogues. They're vicious hunters. If someone killed the 3, it would make my job much easier. Why do the Shapers tolerate this? It's not my place to question the Shapers. Even if it was, they don't leave the Warrens. Describe them. One is an Artilia with a broken fang. One is a Thad with the warped bones. Its body is all twisted, and one is an old withering roamer, old and cunning. Where are they? They hunt the fields and hills to the west. The Artilia was sighted just outside the west gate. The roamer was seen fleeing into the twisted forest to the southwest. Finally, some of our guards chased off the Thide. It ran into the valley to the west. Duniga. Like any respectable settlement, Drypeak has a blacksmith. The mine needs a constant supply of tools and repairs. The smith here is imposingly huge and burly, yet when he sees a shaper has come, he lowers his hammer and adopts the quiet, obedient pose of a common human. Hello, welcome, traveler. We're honored that you came to visit us. Rough times. I've been doing a brisk trade in weapons lately. Perhaps you need a blade yourself. Sure, let's see what you got. I should have trained up my melee. Town's alchemist is very happy to see you. She makes sure her bubbling mixtures can be left alone for a minute and greets you with a smile. You suspect, however, that she would be happy to see any new face in this remote valley. Welcome, honored shaper. I am Elili, the alchemist, trapped in this desolate place and eager for news of the outside world. Please, can I help you? How'd you come to be here? I was such a fool. I heard this was an up and coming colony, so I came here and found a sandy black water. I hate it here. I long for the life of the city, and for the moment these rogues are gone and it's safe to travel, I'm out of here. How long have you been here? 3 long years. Who told you to come? Shaper Zachary. 3 years past, he sent recruits to the Shaper Citadel. He gave promises that there was a real future here. He was deceitful. You say anything about rogues on the road? That is a recent development. I am told he is working on resolving this. I do not want to question the choices of a Shaper. I only hope the rogues are killed. I think that will end episode 3. When we start episode 4, we'll meet up with Shanti and continue our quest. Need to locate Barzal. So yes, that will be in episode 4. I'll see you then.